Well, Devon did it again, but more on that later. Here are my thoughts on King of Table 9. So I only did a prediction on the last 3 matches. But as far as the whole card goes, Sarah Collins looked really good. I was really impressed that she was even in the match. Her round 2 looked like she had a shot, but a very impressive performance by her opponent. World-class arm wrestler, Suna Vegan Terzi. Awesome job. The next match, Lars Robikin versus Valera. Wow, what an impressive performance. A lot of people didn't give much of a chance, but he took Lars to his limit. Lars had to revert to his bent wrist press to come out on top with a 4-3 victory. Lars proved that experience paid off. Very impressive performance by both gentlemen. I was actually sitting there thinking, Lars is like 2-0 now at King of the Table. Maybe want to see how I do against that press. Who knows, right? The next match, Sergey Kalyanchenko versus Arif Artem. I had no idea that Sergey Kalyanchenko would have so much dominance in the strap outside. It was very impressive. Also, I had no idea that he broke his finger because could not figure out for the life of me why he was going for a bent wrist press in round 2. But he found out that didn't work, went back to the top row. Amazing performance, 3-1 victory. Honestly, that guy could be in the conversation for top 15 in the world. He looked very, very impressive. I think he just keeps getting better. His performance over Chan Shaw, very impressive. This recent win, which I think is the biggest of his career, I don't think he was a favorite going into that. So could be another match I could have. Both those guys, actually. Very impressive arm wrestlers. I think there's a lot of options when I come back. All right, to the matches that I did predict. Well, I was completely wrong. I had no idea that Leonidas would be able to do that with Larry. Now, did Larry get an injury round 1? I'm not sure if he did. I just know there's a very weird ending to the match where his arm kind of bounced back. But he said he was fine, said it had no effect. Regardless, Leonidas looked amazing. He performed very well under pressure. Definitely has a lot of potential for arm wrestling. I hope we see more of Larry, because I know he loves it. He's just not doing well at King of the Table. Maybe he should come to the Monster Factory. Maybe we should have a match at the Monster Factory. But huge congratulations, Leonidas. Now, probably the most exciting match of the night, Hermes Gasparini versus Vitaly Lelett. Round 1. So these are where I think Vitaly might have made a few errors. He held on too long. Like he was trying to hold on to Hermes and this, even let his wrist crack to try to push him down. Hermes was obviously trying to get out of the match. I think he should just let the match go. Now, he didn't do as well in the strap the second start, but he did do well in the strap. I think if his wrist wouldn't have went, if he wouldn't have done a couple of things, what I'm saying is that match, I had Vitaly winning 55-45. Hermes came out on top 4-2. Spectacular performance by Hermes. His heart and will and desire to win and transition to a press. I'm a guy who knows he has that transition to a press, so watching him do that was spectacular. But I say all that to say, I think that match, if you run it back and Vitaly corrects a few things, maybe it goes 4-2 Vitaly, maybe it goes 3-3 or 4-3 or something. Those guys are very even. Now, what I did like after the match is how Hermes said, doesn't matter who is number 1, who holds the belt. In 2024, that belt has come back to Italy. That young man is very impressive. He's dedicated to his craft. He loves it. He learns from his losses. I think the loss to Devon woke him up. I had predicted Vitaly longer lever to play more of a role, have more of a factor in the match, and it didn't. It could be because he's a low hand top roller versus getting that height, and he kind of fronted his hand to Hermes. But either way, Hermes performed spectacularly. Very impressed with that young man. Excited to see what he does in the future. Here's time. Devon Larratt versus Georgi Spekov. Not so fast. Let's hear a word from this video sponsor.
This is Monster Michael Todd. While I'll take a quick break from this event, I want to tell you about the only Buick GMC dealership in Pulaski County, Arkansas. Located next to Sam's Club in North Little Rock, Watney GMC Buick is a leader in sales, service, and collision. From Sierra AT4 half tons to Duramax equipped 2500 series, Buick GMC is carrying almost as much muscle as I am. So don't arm wrestle with the price at other dealers. No, you're getting the best deal from the starting Watney Buick GMC in North Little Rock. Call them at 501-945-4444 or see what WatneyBuickGMC.com.
So, it kind of went how I thought. With the exception, I thought Georgi would hit him further over the pad on go, not kind of a standstill in the center of the table and then make some surges. And a lot of that is because I saw the practice footage. Like I had seen the footage up front beforehand. And I saw what he was able to do. Now, like I said in my prediction video, a practice pool Devon is not a tournament pool Devon or a match pool Devon. Devon did exactly what he needed to do to win. So you got to give him tons of credit. And his ability to withstand and persevere, and just, he showed once again his endurance is spectacular, because he was opened up most of the time. But round one, you saw him counter those offensive surges with, pronation and back pressure, counter. But the moment he transitions to that press, like he knew. And the thing is, if you watch that match closely, had Yorgi had a transitional press, would he have been able to finish? There were a couple spots in that match. How I feel, had I been the guy on the other side, had I been the guy in Yorgi's position, and I had the strength to make that match be that way, I probably could have transitioned the press to couple. There was a couple opportunities for a good transitional presser to come in and lay on Devon's arm and put a lot of fatigue on him, possibly pin him. Yorgi doesn't have that in his arsenal yet. Just like Devon said afterwards, if Yorgi gets that, he's going to be very, very dangerous. He's already very dangerous. He probably has the best top row and hand in the division. But if he was able to add that to his arsenal, he's a legit threat. Unless Devon was able to get more control and get it to where his arm wasn't as exposed. But it doesn't matter. Like, after the match is over, you see him kneel down talking to Auden, and he said, the King saved me. That open top row King's move, pronation, back pressure, riser is what kept him in the match. I mean, his wrist, and it's so crazy because he so desperately wanted to crack the wrist of Yorgi. He said he was going to do it. He wanted to be able to force him into hook. And it's not that Devon was lacking anything. It just shows you how strong Yorgi is. Yorgi's wrist and ability to basically be unhookable, and possibly untop rollable, is very impressive. Now, if Yorgi would have kept in the match, if he wouldn't have, left his elbow up, stopped the match, I believe eventually Devon would have cracked his wrist. So, just like he said, Europeans are falling one by one. Very impressive performance. Guy's super strong. Definitely in his best form ever. But seeing Yorgi as strong as he was, it looked like he gave Devon the most resistance anyone has recently since Gennady. So yes, it begs the question, would you like to see Yorgi versus Hermes, Yorgi versus Vitaly, Yorgi versus Dennis? It almost makes you think he might be the favorite going to those matches. Hermes would be the only question mark, I think, because Yorgi doesn't have a long lever, and I think he would perform well against that top row. But yeah, I mean, Yorgi's a bad dude. So that's my take on King of the Table 9. But what's exciting is April, East versus West 12, Levan versus Devon. We're going to see the rematch. Okay, so I'm going to give you my current thoughts on that. I'm sure I'll do another recap on this once it gets closer. But let's just say Levan does not improve from his previous performance, his previous level. Say he comes back after the injury and he's the exact same level he was. Not at a greater level, but the same level. But Devon continues to improve. Is it enough to close the gap? Is it enough to stop the match before Levan gets 4 pins? I wonder. Like, I'm watching Devon and he looks spectacular. He looks like he's, definitely by far the best form he's ever been in. And the way he's dispatching these European, like Hermes, I had no idea he was going to be capable of doing that to Hermes. Yorgi, impressive, very impressive performance. But Levan has everything. The strongest hand to probably ever be in the sport. Basically unmatchable back pressure. And he used to be vulnerable to a hook, but I don't know how possible it is to hook him now. So, if Devon tries to hook him, I say it's a 6-0 sweep for Levan. If Devon tries to conventionally control center table on top row, I think it's a 6-0 sweep for Levan. If Devon hits the Kings every round, I think he gets a stop before round 4. I think he stops Levan before Levan gets 4 pins. And he bleeds him out. And I think he wins. Oh shit, this is East versus West. Oh damn. Yeah, I don't know if he can do it. I like his chances at King of the Table. I think it takes him the 4th round before he gets a stop. East versus West, he has to stop him by round 3. Damn. I still think Levan's going to be the man come April. What are your thoughts? Am I right on this one? Or am I completely off like I was on the first 2 predictions for this card? I don't know, man. It's fun watching, but I'm back here in the background training, And I'm excited to see where I start out at. I'm excited to see who my first match is, what my first outing looks like, and where to go from there. Take care, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for notifications.